In this video, I'm going to show you how I made a fun fact app that uses AI to generate fun facts on any category in the entire world without writing a single line of code. Here's how I did it. Alright, let's open up Cursor. We are going to create a new folder in our desktop called Facts. Cool. So here we have our main cursor window. On the right we have our agent. I'm going to open up our terminal here, and here on the left we have our folder structure. So I'm going to be using Gemini 2.5 Pro. This is the model I like working with the best. Let's simply ask it what we want. So we are going to create a mobile app using React Native with Expo and Expo Router, newest version 5+. We want the app to be able to provide a list of categories that the user can select from or enter their own, and use that input as a source to draw fun facts from. We will use their category input as a basis for a prompt to send to OpenAI and get back a fun fact that we will then display for the user. So this is just drawing out what we want out of the project. Very simple. We're not going to ask it how, we're not going to tell it, how we want it to implement it. We're just going to ask it what we want. Then we're going to say, let's come up with an implementation plan for this project, step by step, organized by phases. At the end of this, please come up with a comprehensive checklist that we can refer back to after each step throughout the project. I'm a non-coder, so you will be the key agent making these changes as well as explaining to me after each step what exactly we have just done. Okay, let's send that over. So the great thing about Gemini is it thinks first and then it tells us what it's going to do. So phase 1, project setup and foundational structure, initialize Expo, install core dependencies, directory structure, TypeScript configuration, and basic app layout. Okay, great. Then we'll have category input and selection UI. Then we'll have OpenAI integration. Then we'll have our displaying fun facts and user interaction, and then polishing, and then we'll do some testing. So, okay, here's the comprehensive checklist. This is basically just explaining what exactly we just read through. So, all right, let's go ahead and start this. Sounds good. Let's start with step 1. Okie dokie. So it's going to create this project for us now. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so the project has been created. We have very basic setup here on what this, actual project will look like. Okay. Okay, now this will probably have to be changed because this app.tsx is using the old reference. But we will probably see that fixed soon. We can already see there's a few problems that popped up. We're going to see that this will be fixed shortly. Okay, those problems went away, but okay, let's continue now. What we've just done, we just created our project using this command. Let's install Expo Router. We can run this now as well. Install Expo Router and install OpenAI. So these will be the packages that we use to set up our navigation and to set up our OpenAI connection. So we have node modules now, which will actually manage that, and then our packages.json will have the dependencies listed here. You can see those here. Okay. Our project now has the necessary tools for routing and AI interaction. Now we're going to create these folders. We're going to create our app folder, components folder, lib folder, hooks folder, and assets folder. Okay, let's create those. Well, assets already exist, so we don't have to create that, but the others have not been created by Expo, so we just created those. We see we have an app folder, components folder, hooks folder, lib folder. Cool. Now let's move to phase 1, step 4. View this. We already have the strict setting true. That just prevents us from, leaking, data and things like that can pop up with TypeScript. Okay. So in the package.json, we have to actually now our final step 5 is basic app layout with Expo Router. To make it work, we have to make a few adjustments in our package.json. Right, we have a main entry point. That's how our app knows how to actually start. We need to set this as the Expo Router entry, more standard way of actually having a first file with Expo Router. So Expo Router is going to expect this app folder to have this layout file, and that's going to actually determine how our app looks when it first gets open. And that's going to tell it, like, this is the first page, this index.tsx file. This is what we're going to actually see. Okay. So now we've changed that. Now we need to set up the actual initial routing structure. This is when it created the layout and index files. Okay, these are just going to have placeholder data right now. It's just going to have this welcome to the Fun Facts app. It's not going to do very much else outside of that. Okay, great. Now, so we can run this app now. Let's do npx expo start. Let's run this in the terminal. This will pull up Expo Go. This will run this app on Expo Go on Expo's servers. So if I have the Expo Go app on my phone, it's a free app, I can now connect to the same exact server and open up this app and actually see what I've been doing, what I've been writing in my code. So it's now bundling this app, and I'll be able to now view it on my phone. Okay, it's almost complete. Now let's see. Here we go. Welcome to the Fun Facts app. Now this is exactly what we've written out here. welcome to the Fun Facts app. What if I type in, hey, welcome to the Fun Facts app? If I save that, in theory, yep, there we go. We can see that it made that change on the actual app itself. So we're now seeing in real time the changes that we're making and how they are impacting our app. So that's a change we just made right there. And now I can reverse that and I'll be able to see once I save, boom, it's back. There we go. Okay, so we are live now. We have a working setup. It's now, doing exactly what we want, which is, not much yet. We haven't really defined much yet, but it is doing what we want, right? So that's good. Now we can accept all these changes. We haven't actually accepted anything yet, but we can now accept all these changes. Now the one question I have is this app.tsx. I think now this is frivolous. Like, this is repetitive. Because this is using the classic app navigation. Both of these files, I'm pretty sure, and we can just remove them. We can ask our agent now, or at app.tsx and at index.ts. Files now repetitive. Since the main routing happens in the app folder. So in Cursor, you can add all of these files and folders as context. If you want to reference anything, you can just ask it directly. If so, should we delete them? After that, we are ready to move to the next step. So let's now see. It is going to say, yep, they're largely redundant. We can delete them. Cool. We can delete that too. Cool. tsconfig, okay, cool. No problems, no errors. We're good now. Okay. So, phase 2. Okay, phase 2, we are going to actually create the UI. So, here we can see that in the index.tsx, it's now changing this to add the category names, to handle what happens when the category is clicked, and it should be adding a button in here somewhere. So it'll say choose category, pick one. It should have a button in there somewhere, and it's setting, our font and just the style of the actual page. So index.tsx has been updated to serve as our main screen. So initially it was going to create a home screen, but we don't need that now. Okay, that's good. Okay, so it's now saying we're done with phase 2. Let's start our app again, and now let's see what it shows us. I am thinking it's moving a little too fast here in terms of creating the actual components, but it looks like it's done it decently well. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to open this on the iOS simulator on my computer so I can demo this on my computer and it looks a little bit cleaner as well. But you can see now that this is live. You can see that it's created the categories. Let me get that right up front. It's created the categories: space, animals, history, science, technology, and it's made a little section for us at the bottom to type our own. We can type in ancient Rome or coffee or whatever, right? and now there's no actual button, there's no, there's not much we can do. Well, when we type in something, it actually does trigger the button, so that's nice, right? But there's a lot here that we need to improve on, right? There's a lot that's not really working. But here we can see now our iOS simulator is actually loading up. So we'll be able to use this now to test. The problem with the simulator, and you'll see this if you start testing on your own, the problem with the simulator is it just takes forever to actually load. Yeah, it takes a while, but here we go. Now we have the app on our computer to be able to test it there as well. So, with the simulator, I can select. Well, right now, none of these categories do anything. None of these things are actually set up, but I can actually type. Well, this is also a problem with the simulator, is that it literally is so slow that it won't let me type. But these categories are selectable now. If you look at my phone, you can see that I selected a category like science, and then it says selected science. Alright, so that is implemented. No actual core functionality is implemented yet. These are just dead buttons. If I hit get fun fact on my phone, it just doesn't do anything, which is fine, which is how we have it intended to work right now. So let's go back to cursor. And let's kill this simulator. This thing is so useless. We can see now that it is picking stuff up. Our logs are picking stuff up. We added these logs that tell us what somebody has selected, but they're not picking up from the simulator. It's just really too slow, which is fine. So let's kill that for now. Let's kill the app. Okay. Cool. So now this is working. Please list out all of the steps for phase 3 and let's go forward. Okay, create lib/OpenAI service.ts. Yes. So it's gone ahead and created that. Add a placeholder for the OpenAI API key. Initialize OpenAI client. Implement construct prompt. Construct prompt. Implement fetch fun fact. Handle potential errors. Okay, cool. So this is the most kind of rudimentary way to set up an API key, which is to just do it right here in the file itself. Now, this is really not how we want to do this. This is a really, really unsafe way to store your API keys. The way that you would actually do it is you would create an environment variable, or the best way to do it is to create a secret key inside of Expo's servers where you put your API key. And I'll create another video if people are interested in that on how exactly to do that. But since this is local only, I'm just gonna do it in here. But it's this is not the standard practice for production builds. For a local build, it's totally fine, but for a production build, this is not how you want to do it. And cursor is also telling me that this is only for local. So here we go. What I'm gonna do is I have a test API key. I mean, it's a real API key, but it's test in the sense that I don't have much money in there. So I'm just gonna paste it right here. Okay. Now let's make sure that we're putting it in the right place. Okay, well, let's see where it expects my OpenAI API key. Okay, I think you just put it right there. No? I don't know how this thing is set up my API key. Okay, let's see. Yeah. I kind of thought that I would replace it for both of them. Maybe I should just read the instructions here. Okay. Okay, so I had to replace it in all of those places. But apparently it's set up now because there are no more problems. And we're going to now test this out. So let's see. Step 4, implement construct prompt function. Okay. Okay, so now it should have implemented the entire phase 3. But we won't actually see the change yet because we need to go to phase 4 to actually implement the function. Right now, it's just a function that calls OpenAI, but that function is not being called inside of our project yet. So we're gonna see what happens if we just run our app again. Let's see. Okay, so it still just lets us select category. We can see in our logs that category history is selected. We can see in our app that category history is selected. If I hit get fun fact, it does nothing. Okay, so that's fine. Let's proceed to step 4. Please list out our checklist before and after each step. I meant phase 4, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. Addressing the API key. I've noted the user's progress. The OpenAI API key is now real. Let me test this integration. Okay, cool. So, this is good. Now we have to move on to phase 4. Design the layout for the fact display screen area. So we can see now already it created a new file called fact display in our components. So it's going to call that to show the actual fact. Create a fact screen in the app that's going to call this component. So component's a reusable piece of UI. Then implement the logic to call fetch fun fact, right? That is the function that we created inside our OpenAI service. We're going to implement a get another fact button, implement a choose new category button, implement a loading indicator. Okay, so here okay, for some reason okay, it just reverted my API key for some reason. which I don't know why it's done that, but sure. Okay, now it needs to create the fact screen for us. Okay, so now it's saying it has implemented all of the steps for phase 4. Be that as it may, I don't know why it removed my API key. Why did you remove my OpenAI API key? Don't we need it in there for the call to actually work? I'm going to put it back in. Please do not revert that again. Let's move. No, before we do that, I want to test this again. So let's put that in. Right. Let's put that in. Let's put that in. Okay. And now I want to test this app again and see what happens. Let's accept all the changes. We can always revert. I should maybe show reverting in cursor what that looks like, but you really I'll show it after this. Okay, so here's our app. It's ready again. We hit science, right? And so it just, oh, okay, that's why it reverted my key, because it's just testing facts right now. Okay, so here we go. It just wants to test the actual app. That's fine. It's just testing what the app should actually look like. Okay, that's cool. It doesn't look great. I don't love the UI, but it works. You know, this is what the functionality is. Get a fun fact. Cool. Okay, so let's move to phase 5. I put the API key back in for your reference. I'm just going to keep it in there since this is a locally run app. We can start using it in real time whenever. Okay, so now we're going to check the placeholder logic, and it's now going to actually use the key. Okay, it was doing all these conditional checks for the API key. I think what we're just going to do is just set the key. Yeah, there it is. It just sets the key there. And now we're just going to use that actual key. So, okay. Now let's go to phase 5. It now has created a styles theme for us. Styles folder with the themes.ts, which will have all like the UI themes. like our our padding, our colors, our fonts, all that kind of stuff. So it's done that. Now in the index.tsx, we've now imported that. Okay, great. You can see import theme from styles theme. Okay, great. Review and refine screen transitions, test error handling for network issues, test error handling for OpenAI API errors, ensure all text is legible, add an app icon, add a splash screen. We can, yeah, we don't need to do those, that's fine. Okay. So now we need to actually test the app. Let's test. Let's see what happens here. We've got our development server restarting. Here we go. Opening up the app. Boom. Okay, let's see what happens here. Science. Selected this. Boom. Alright. We actually got a response, and we can see that we got the response. Log, sending prompt to OpenAI, tell me a short, interesting, and fun fact about science, make it concise and suitable for a mobile app. Log, received response from OpenAI, and it is actually going to pass that. So the average human body carries 10 times more bacterial cells than human cells. Interesting. Now we have in our app, we have get new fact and get new category, right? So we can select if we want to just do a new category and select a new fact based on a new category, and it's going to generate that fact. Boom. Fun fact. Did you know that a single bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread? Hashtag science facts. Wow, nice. I didn't know that. Thank you. Now we can enter our own too. What should we enter our own about? Ancient Rome. And this is where our UI is not perfect, but it gave us a fun fact about ancient Rome. Ancient Rome used to clean their teeth with urine, as they believed it had antibacterial properties. Chad. Okay, great. So functionally, our app is live now. Our app is doing exactly what we set out to do. Let me run this on the simulator so that we can see it in beautiful display here. Accept all. So boom, we are now at a point where our app is doing exactly what we intended it to do, right? It's now doing the thing where it gets a fun fact based on whatever category we decided. It also takes in a random piece of text, and it'll generate a fun fact based on that too. So that's beautiful. At some point our simulator will load and we'll be able to see it here, even though it's timed out now, but it will load. That works great. Oh nice, simulator's coming up. That works great. I'd like to make some UI changes. Let's put the text input fields at the very top of the screen. Right, so I don't love the fact that it's showing, you know, like at the very bottom here, or like right in the middle. That's just a weird place to have text input. So I'd like it to be at the top. I'd also like this, you know, fun fact pop-up to like maybe cover the whole screen. So, you know, I'd like the fun fact pop-up to cover the entire screen. Let's also make the colors more fun, lively, like a nice summer pastel color block. We can apply this to the background, borders, fills, text, while still using design best practices. So now we should have this running on our simulator. Cool. It lets us click. It lets us actually see which one we've clicked, and it creates a fun fact. So did you know that the first computer mouse was made of wood and had only one button? Wow. Nice. Now let's see if the simulator will cooperate enough for us to be able to type one in. Nope, doesn't seem so. Simulator is always broken. It's fine. It ran the first simulation, which I'm actually shocked about. Oh, nice. Okay. It brought up the text input window. So let's do ancient Rome, not accent Rome. Ancient Rome. Ancient Rome. Get fun fact about ancient Rome. Ancient Romans used urine as teeth whitener, believing its ammonia content could keep their smiles bright and clean. Okay, nice. How about, let's now do Brian Armstrong's shiny head. Get fun fact. Brian Armstrong shiny head. Okay, let's see if this actually works or if it's going to give us an error. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, is known for his shiny head, which he keeps polished using a special bald head lotion. Wow, I did not know that. Okay, nice. Jeff Bezos biceps. Jeff Bezos has been known to incorporate bicep curls into his daily workout routine, helping him maintain his toned and strong biceps. Nice. Chad Bezos. Chad Bezos nickname. Chad Bezos' nickname is the Delivery King due to his impressive speed and efficiency in getting the packages to the destination. Okay. Nice. Timothy Chalamet Nix. Timothy Chalamet, talented actor known for his roles in films like Call Me By Your Name. Lady Bird is a diehard fan of the New York Knicks basketball team. Not very fun, but I guess a fact. Okay, cool. Now let's give it these UI enhancements that we want to make. Boom. All right. So now we're just gonna have fun now, you know. Like, we're at a good place. The app works. We have built an app in under like 45 minutes, I want to say, that gets fun facts for us from OpenAI. We're calling OpenAI's API. We're returning the fun facts. We've built an app that gets that data back and displays it in a beautiful manner. And we are doing it all in a React Native Expo app so it can be deployed to Android or iOS. Took like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I don't know. Well, what are we at now? It's probably like, 38 minutes. Yeah. Yo, man. We're looking good here. We're moving strong. Okay, exciting changes. Let's tackle these changes. All right, cool. So we can see it's making some pastel, pastel colored transitions here. Animals, fun fact. Did you know that a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance? That's cool. This background is flamboyant, my dude. Okay. So we changed some colors. We haven't reordered the text input, but we're doing that now. Okay. We got an error that came up because of that. Property on close doesn't exist. So I wanted to implement something where if we close the thing, it will show us something that will show us the categories again. All right, cool. So this already looks 100 times better. 100 times better. Fetching your fun fact. Did you know that the average person produces enough something? I don't know. But now we can tell it like, dude, the fun fact that you gave us, it's now going overboard. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this, we're going to screenshot it, we're going to put it right into cursor and be like, hey, this is much better, but the fun fact now extends way across the phone screen and can't be read. the title in the header at the top is also way too high and can't be read. What else? What else are we seeing here that isn't really, to our liking? If we hit this, this is just hello world. What if we do hello world? The phrase hello world is typically used as the first program written by beginners learning a new programming language. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. That's working fine. Food, fetching your fun fact. Okay, did you know honey never spoils? Alright, cool. So everything else is working pretty much as we want. Let's now see. Yeah, that's really it. Let's just fix those. Cool. Thanks for the feedback and the screenshot. This is really helpful. Fun fact, text overflow. Yep. Okay. So this modal card that it put in, it's going too wide. It doesn't look great. The main title position inside the card. Okay, let's make sure everything respects our width size. That's what it's telling us, right? Okay. Alright, so the fact display has been updated. Let's see. We may have to rerun the app. I'm not sure. Okay, let's test it visually and then we'll see. So the top part is fixed. Fun fact factory. Wow, that's a teaser. Hey brother, get fun fact. Okay, hey brother by Avicii features vocals from American singer. Okay, I mean, I love where we're at. This is beautiful. Movies. First movie ever made is believed to be Round a Hey something. Okay, 2 seconds long. Nice. Beautiful. But I still don't like this pop-up. The pop-up fun fact is still not... Well, alright, let's test this. Let's kill the server. Sometimes what you have to do is you just have to kill the server and then you have to start it again. And you have to kill the simulator and you have to start it again. So let's see how this looks in our Expo app. So we will open up our app again. We will facts. Okay, boom. So the app is now updated on our phone as well. Food. It's still going too wide. Okay. The pop-up fun fact is still not fitting inside our screen. So that's really all we can give it, like, hey dude, it's not looking good. Okay? And we'll have to come up with, a fix for that. Try the simpler fix first. Remove the alignment center from content view. Okay. With 100%. Okay, so it's trying to make a few changes. I'm gonna have to kill this and then rerun it. I will say, UI stuff is like 10 times harder to figure out with vibe coding than backend stuff. Like, backend stuff is so simple. UI stuff, not simple. Still the same issue. Still the same issue. The entire card is extending past the phone screen. Where exactly is the file that is ruling this stuff? Is it the at fact display, like, which is the component, or is it something else? Or is it in the at index or at layout? So I'm just trying to like try and help it debug a little bit here, because I'm like, dude, I'm kind of at a loss here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at or why this is happening exactly. So why don't we quickly check what exactly is happening, right? So export class modal extends React component. And you know, I'm really unsure why this is happening. I didn't write the code, so we're gonna need this thing to fix it, but that's not a big issue. We can get it to fix it. Aha! And it's fixed! Look at that! Boom, 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 boom. It just takes a little bit of prompting and a little bit of prodding, and then you're in a great place. It doesn't take that much, right? So, did you know that the first computer mouse was made of wood and only had one button, right? Now, if I hit it again, it just keeps giving me very similar kind of prompts, and that's just a function of the model. We're using GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is an older model, and it's not as robust as the newer ones. So let's go to the OpenAI service, and here, where we're defining what inputs to send it, we are going to change the model that we get replies from, right? So instead of GPT 3.5 Turbo, we are going to use GPT 4.40. 4.0. Cool. Not mini, 4.0. Okay? So we're going to use 4.0 now. And let's see, that should have already implemented, because it's already taking way longer for me to get the fun fact. But the fun fact is way better now. Did you know the first 1 gigabyte hard drive introduced by IBM in 1980 weighed over 500 pounds and cost 40 grand? Today you can carry thousands of times more data in your pocket. Amazing. Now if I hit the same category, did you know the first computer mouse invented by Douglas Engelbart in 1964 was made of wood? So it's already giving me more details, it's giving me more interesting facts. Did you notice that some trees can talk to each other, right? So here we go. We have a much better looking app, and it's actually working way better now too. So fantastic. We are now in a really good spot. The app is working as intended, and it can now be completely customized however we want. So let's open it up on the simulator. Let's look at what we have. Let's pick from the list. Space. Fun fact. Did you know that a day on Venus is longer than its year? What? Venus takes about 243 Earth days to rotate once, but only 225 Earth days to orbit the sun. That's wild. Animals. Did you know octopuses have 3 hearts? Two pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. Beautiful. History. Did you know that Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the construction of the pyramids? Wow. Crazy. Movies. So we can already see that there is a lot more time delay to get the responses from here than we would have in GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is also giving us better responses though, you know? So, yeah. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. We've just built this app in 45 minutes. 45 minutes is all it took. And now the facts are repeating way less. Yeah. This is beautiful, guys. Beautiful. I love it. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. This has been really fun to do, and I hope it was useful. I'll be back in a few days with another app demo. You can't be fucking serious.